I was slouched on the couch, only half paying attention to the news murmuring from the TV, when my younger brother, sad, strolled in and dropped his car keys onto the table. With a teasing tone, he asked, "Where's the wife?" Without a thought, I answered automatically, "She's at work." It was a line I had repeated so many times. It came out of me like muscle memory. But this time, his face didn't match his playful voice. There was no grin, no lightness. He hesitated, then looked at me with something unsettling in his eyes, and said quietly, "No, she's not." I turned toward him, suddenly feeling the weight in the air. "What do you mean?" I asked, though my stomach was already tightening. He unlocked his phone, tapped a few times, and handed it to me. My pulse thundered as I stared at the screen. The timestamp told me it was taken today. My wife, Hina, wasn't at work. She was at a restaurant, seated close to a man I had never seen before. They weren't just sitting together. They were laughing, leaning in, her hand resting on his arm like it belonged there. I froze, staring at the image until my hands went cold. My whole body felt numb. Words wouldn't come. Sad sat down beside me, his voice gentle. "I didn't want to hurt you. I just thought you should know." I nodded slowly, barely recognizing the sound of my own voice when I whispered, "Thank you." Inside, my heart splintered into pieces. That night, I waited for Hina to come home. I couldn't bring myself to confront her. Not yet. I didn't have the strength. She walked in just before 10, saying her meeting had run late. I watched her lie with such ease, such casual confidence, and it hit me. This wasn't the first time. This was just the first time I had proof. I smiled faintly, offered her dinner. She declined, claiming she was tired. I watched her walk away, realizing how far apart we already were. The days that followed blurred together. I kept up the act, pretending nothing was wrong. But each morning, when she left for work, I trailed her. And every time I uncovered more. Different restaurants, parks, even a hotel once. Always with the same man. While I had been working hard to build our future, she had been building a second life behind my back. Every new discovery cut deeper, another knife twisting in my chest. I cried alone, not letting anyone, even sad, see my grief. One evening, as she got ready to leave again, I asked softly, "Where are you headed tonight?" She hesitated, then replied, "Just a dinner with the team, a little celebration." I nodded, though I already knew the truth. That night, instead of following her, I stayed home. I pulled out our wedding album. Every picture felt like a lie now. The smiles, the vows, the promises, all of it hollow. I sat down and began writing a letter. I poured everything onto those pages. My love, my confusion, my sorrow, and the quiet torment of watching the woman I once adored turn into a stranger before my eyes. I didn't place all the blame on her. Maybe I had failed in ways I couldn't see. Maybe I hadn't noticed her loneliness. But betrayal, lies, infidelity, nothing could excuse that. The next morning, I left the letter on her pillow and slipped out before she woke. I needed air. I needed space. I stayed at Sad's for a week. He didn't press me with questions. He just gave me room to breathe. Some nights I broke down, sobbing into the silence. Other nights, I simply lay awake, staring at the ceiling, asking myself where I had gone wrong. Love, once so warm and safe, now felt like an open wound that wouldn't close. On the 8th day, Hina called. Her voice shook as she said she'd read the letter. She begged to meet, to talk. I agreed. We sat down in a quiet cafe. She looked different, drained, regret-heavy in her eyes. Tears streamed down her face as she apologized. She admitted she didn't even know why she had done it, but she didn't deny it either. I listened. My heart, though, wasn't where it had once been. I told her I forgave her, not for her, but for myself. I couldn't keep carrying the weight of hate, but I also told her I couldn't stay in a marriage built on lies. Her silence said more than words ever could. She knew it too. We parted that day with no fights, no promises, just the crushing quiet of something broken beyond repair. I walked away, tears clouding my eyes, and yet, for the first time in weeks, my chest felt just a little lighter. because I had stopped pretending. I had stopped clinging to the illusion of us. And in that pain, I stumbled upon something unexpected, peace.